we are going to introduce you to something we've been dying to tell you about for a long time now.
Oh yeah, so excited.
We've been working for 8 months or so on a book about
Harriet Beecher Stowe.
Yes, Robin wrote the story and I did the illustrations.
Beautiful illustrations.
And the book is called The Day
Harriet Beecher Stowe visited Silver Springs in Florida.
Yes, The Day Harriet Beecher Stowe visited Silver Springs.
Yes.
So we discovered this in one of the books that is published that includes articles that she wrote for magazines back when she used to spend her winters here in Florida.
In Mandarin, Florida.
And that's near Jacksonville. Actually, technically, it is Jacksonville nowadays.
Yeah, right.
But back then, her home was in Hartford, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And she would come down here in the winter, right?
Yeah, she would. And we're standing on Mandarin, Florida ground, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're going to go check out the museum and tell you a little bit about her, and we'll show you some of the work that we have in the book that's coming out like this week.
That's right. And today is March 21st, 2025.
Right. And in March 27th, 1873, what happened?
Is when Harriet Beecher Stowe left her home here in Mandarin, took a steamship to Silver Springs, Florida.
Yes, it took her 6 days, 3 days?
It was 6 days round trip, so 3 days there, 3 days back.
Imagine that. It took us about 2 hours to get here. It took her 3 days to get there.
That's right.
All right, so let's go see what the museum has to offer. Okay, so we're inside the museum, and there is a picture. Where's the camera looking? There's the picture I want to show you of Harriet and Calvin. Right?
Yeah.
And it says here, Calvin and Harriet Beecher Stowe owned property on a bluff above the St. John's from 1867 to 1884. She initially discovered the beauty of the Mandarin when she crossed the river in a rowboat from her son's property in Clay County. As a Mandarin resident, she took many excursions on the St. John's and greatly enjoyed the area's flora and fauna. That's what Linda was telling us.
Yeah.
Nice.
This Harriet Beecher Stowe.
That's her painting.
And she painted that. And she was enamored with magnolias. And so our church donated that. It belonged to somebody in the church. And it was donated, because I remember seeing that hang out in the church.
Really?
I'm thinking, golly. So I thought that was so pretty. She did a nice job on it, and she loved magnolias.
Oh, and there's the book, Palmetto Leaves.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. 1873.
And that's what we learned on our research. She loved to write, but she also loved to paint. And she thought if she couldn't make it as a writer, she'd be an artist. But
And those things go hand in hand when you have that creative mind. Frequently, people that are, or painters and musicians, it's that
right on the left side of the brain.
Yeah, right.
But
that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, this is a traveler's exhibit, and there's a.
Well, that's worth seeing right there.
right there, yeah.
The book, and that's her art right there.
She started out.
Harriet Beecher Stowe's art.
That's beautiful.
And this is what, she's doing now.
And that says Harriet Beecher Stowe
Cool.
lived from 1811 to 1896. Mandarin's most prominent past resident is best known for her writing. Of course.
Ornaments, and this is a.
And that is an original painting. It says on there, this is an original painting.
Piece that she has.
Harriet Beecher Stowe, the early years. Is that? Oh, that's her. That's Uncle Tom's Cabin right there.
Yeah, and that's what Harriet Beecher Stowe is most known for as a writer.
That's the book that changed the world.
It did.
Literally changed the world.
It did.
And that's how she wrote it. She didn't have a typewriter.
No, pen and paper. That's a page from the original manuscript, Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Wow.
That is pretty amazing.
There she is. That's pretty incredible.
There is more done with pens than swords. She was so profound.
She changed the world.
She did.
Absolutely. Well, here's the. So we're going to go outside and see the statue in a little bit. But here's a miniature version of it,
Harriet Beecher Stowe in Mandarin.
and she's teaching children how to read. I think
Yes, she is.
that's awesome. And that's her house. That's on the river.
And it was after the Civil War.
After the Civil War, and what did Abraham Lincoln say to her? You're the little lady who caused this great war.
That's right.
And she didn't. She caused the minds of the hearts of men to change.
That's right.
Well, Harriet and Calvin enjoyed the respite they found in Mandarin. They were both driven to make the world a better place, creating many legacies during their time here.
She said, my plan of going to Florida, as it lies in my mind, is not in any sense a mere worldly enterprise. I have for many years had a longing to be more immediately doing Christ's work on earth.
That's awesome. And that looks like the steamboat that she took down the St. Johns River. And then, of course, to Silver Springs.
Yes, you do. I was here last time.
That's right.
Let's see what else they have. On the other side of this wall,
No, I thought I was going to bring a friend.
the untold story of Black Mandarin.
Supposed to be $600 for a new starter.
The untold story of Black Mandarin. Wow. And this is the peninsula where we are right now, actually.
And Harriet Beecher Stowe housed the slaves that were running away to be free also. That was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Welcome. We've been waiting for someone just like you to come to the museum so we can tell you our stories. They've been untold for a long time. And now, Robin, you're helping to tell it.
You and I, yes we are. For over 250 years, Black people have been a vital part of the community known as Mandarin. They were first brought here as enslaved people to work the land. After the Civil War, they moved to Florida to claim land available through the Southern Homestead Act. By 1870, Black residents were a majority of the population. It's the Mandarin grade school.
That's something.
Yeah. Here's a page from the 1840 census.
Oh, wow.
I think there's more here.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that something?
I couldn't take it all in one day. I figured I got to come back and do it a couple more times.
Walter W. Anderson, born in 1922 in Mandarin, lifelong resident, community pioneer, World War II veteran, civil servant for 37 years, and prominent figure in the black community. Wow.
They named their community center after Harriet Beecher Stowe. The Harriet Beecher Stowe Community Center was affectionately referred to as the center. Outside of the churches, the center was a bedrock of the black community.
Wow. What's in here? What's that thing right there? What is that?
Don't know.
Can we read that? What does it say?
I have to get really close. Let's see. Oh, turpentine camps. That's all about the turpentine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was through this area.
One of the industries. Okay. See what's in here. Oh, there's the Maple Leaf boat.
Side wheel steamship.
The Maple Leaf. The steamship Maple Leaf was built in Canada in 1851. In 1862, she was sold to J.H.B. Lang and Charles Spear of Boston. The U.S. Army leased the Maple Leaf from her owners for $550 per day and employed the steamer as a transport ship during the Civil War. From 1862 to 1864, the Maple Leaf moved troops and equipment up and down the East Coast. On April 1st, 1864, the ship was sunk in the St. Johns River at Mandarin Point by the explosion of a submerged Confederate mine.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
In 1994, the Holland Shipwreck site were designated a National Historic Landmark.
Isn't that something?
That is something.
And this must be part of it.
Yeah.
This is the bow.
Please do not touch the bow of the maple leaf.
This is the bow of the maple leaf.
Oh my goodness.
There, wow.
And that's the bow.
That just shows you how small the ship actually was.
Yeah, that's what, 12 feet across, maybe? Not even
Can you
that.
stand there just to give a size and put you stand there?
Here we go.
Yeah, wow.
My good, I'm not touching it. It says don't touch it.
Yeah, wow.
That's, my goodness.
This must be stuff they found in the water, huh?
Yeah.
The only known still existing image of the maple leaf, based on the original amber type taken by E.T. Whitney in April 1856, shows the maple leaf docked in the port of Charlotte, now part of Rochester, New York.
Look at that. Huge.
Wow.
Huge smokestacks.
Well, let's go outside and see that statue and see if we can find out where the house was.
Okay, let's do that.
What is this?
For Harriet Beecher Stowe.
What is this? Dr. Asa Snow's personal wooden trunk was the first of its kind brought to the surface during the wreckage site's excavation in the 1980s.
My goodness.
That's how long it took to excavate it.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, let's go outside.
The history of the park, this is the only historical park operated by the city of Jacksonville. They have others under the state and the federal system like Kingsley and the Temecula Preserve. The city bought this property in 1994. They said it's going to be historical and historical only. The only original structures are the farmhouse we're going to visit and the barn. This is Harriet teaching 2 kids. And what is really fascinating, you take a look at the incredible detail.
Yeah.
The embroidery, the shoelaces, the letters.
She's teaching 2 children to read.
I am Eli, it says. I
see that.
I am Eli.
I see that.
Isn't this
That's my grandson's name is Eli.
And also, I'd like to point out, look at it's on the lettering on this is an old orange crate.
Oh my gosh. It's sitting on the replica of an orange crate. And that's all the lettering.
Oh, wow.
Oranges from Harriet Beecher Stowe, Mandarin, Florida.
Wow.
And that's what we learned was that Mandarin was named after the Mandarin orange.
Right, right.
We learned that.
I mean, what you're looking at here was a very fertile agricultural ground. Citrus products, turpentine, and we'll get into the history of Major Webb in a little bit.
Hello, Harriet.
Hi, Harriet. Look at the smile on her face. She's beautiful.
It's just the detail. It was a local artist, Brenda Council, and she did the model at the Mandarin Post Office over here.
Uh-huh.
And, a lot of these artists, once they get in their zone, they don't want to be bothered. Brenda was conversing and doing the work, answering questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's open to the public like this. The schoolhouse. Fascinating story. Built in 1898. And we'll see the pictures inside. A group of nuns came over from France. They were French. I'm sorry, obviously. They came over in like 1867. And they were missionaries with the specific purpose of teaching newly freed black kids. And they were, for all practical purposes, they were the first civil rights pioneers in Duval County, in this area.
Wow.
Oh my. smell the history.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Just
pretty
smell
much
it.
the original building.
Wow.
Obviously, they didn't have electricity. This was built in 1898 at the St. Joseph Catholic Church site, which is right down Loretto Road, maybe about 5 or 10 minutes from here.
Mm-hmm.
This shows you the story of the nun. It's an incredible story. The Sisters of St. Joseph's were based in St. Augustine for years. And in 1866, a group of nuns came from France, again with the specific purpose of teaching newly freed black kids. They taught the ABCs in religion. And they established missions, primarily in agricultural areas where the newly freed slaves worked. This is what you really want to take a picture of. There was a law on the books where whites couldn't teach blacks.
Oh.
And a group of nuns were arrested in St. Augustine in 1916. They were placed under house arrest, and the law was overturned, but the racism didn't go away. And the others, so these are one-room schoolhouses for blacks just on the south side of Jacksonville.
Oh.
The Supreme Court decision, Brown versus the Board of Education, to integrate the schools came down in 1954, but it wasn't until another court decision, until 1970, that the schools in Jacksonville were fully integrated.
Oh my.
So this shows, and again, it's only on the south side. It doesn't really include schools in the other parts of the city. What's notable is you see the school at the top, Douglas Anderson Public School 107. Now that's an acclaimed school for the arts, and then it was black only. Shows you some of the people who were involved with the school, and as best we can tell, it was operational until about 1940 or so.
And that's the original textbooks.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
over the years, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And what is this a model of?
That's a model. That's a model of the school here.
Oh, okay. Okay, and these are the original desks?
No, they're not. That's a good question. Things were brought in. This is an old pew from the old St. Joseph Church that was in storage. And again, the city has been very, very particular about what they'll allow on the park, as far as they don't want to make it a repository. And somebody says, well, I got an item that we think is historic here, you take it. You know,
sure.
so this was all moved in, but the structure itself, except for the roof, was pretty much intact. And let me find.
Yeah, yeah.
My goodness.
I'm trying to find, there's a photo album of, excuse me here.
Picture of Abraham Lincoln.
Oh my gosh, of course. George Washington next to him on the wall.
This is really interesting.
Jesus.
What they had to do was, again, the last location was on somebody bought the house from the church, and they had it on a private lot down on Mandarin Road. They had to remove the roof, get a moving permit, one of these companies that
My goodness.
moves old houses here.
Oh, wow.
And again, because of the tree canopy, the roof had to be removed.
Oh, okay.
And there's a fascinating picture in there of the priest from St. Joseph's and some nuns coming here and blessing it.
There we are.
Oh, yeah, that looks like that one.
Blessing
Yeah.
it. My goodness. This is wonderful.
Yeah, and this shows this is the area where we are, what it looked like at the end of the Civil War. These are Major Webb was to go to his house in a minute. He was a Civil War officer, retired, and came down at the end of the war and had a very profitable shipping enterprise where he shipped, this was turpentine, citrus, other agricultural products that he grew and shipped up the river. We'll see that in a little bit. But turpentine was really prominent way back when.
Nice. This is very special.
This is a great story. There was a retired well driller named Don Bowden. 6, 7, 8 years ago, all of these frogs started appearing at various and they're heavy, and they're on sale here. And he was discovered. He has made 16,000 of these frogs over the years.
What?
They're concrete. All of the proceeds, there's some frogs right behind there.
Oh, okay.
All of the proceeds have gone to the museum, and he's made 16,000 of them.
Wow.
Raised about $190,000, and it's really safe to say that if it weren't for Don, you wouldn't have that wing where the maple leaf exhibit is.
Is that right?
Oh my gosh.
So the city, again, they bought this park in land in 1994. They opened it up in 2000. See you later.
So it's relatively new.
Yeah.
Hello, doggy.
Hi.
And now we're heading to another house?
First, we're going to go to an old vineyard.
Oh, an old vineyard. Okay.
Yeah, it was on the Lasco property. And what's really interesting about Mandarin is way back when some of the early developers of Mandarin were Italian. And, you see like Lasco, Denise, Giotto. So the Lascos, they had a winery. It was pretty profitable. We're going to go, that's our next stop here.
And this is probably what it looked like when Harriet Beecher Stowe lived here.
Yeah, exactly.
With all the trees and everything.
Lasco Winery.
Wow.
Look at the building.
Oh my gosh.
And that looks old.
That must be where they raise their grapes right there.
Yeah.
Watch your head.
Watch your head, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Are you folks wine drinkers?
I am.
This area really isn't conducive for winemaking. They had to use sweet grapes, Scuppernong and Muscadine, because, and I'm a wine drinker, and I got curious and looked up more of this. Combination of the soils, the humidity, and the rapid rain, heavy rains aren't conducive for winemaking. Here's the Lascos. This to me, what is incredibly, you saw this inside the museum. Private Lasco was the only Mandarin resident killed in World War I.
Really?
Yeah. He worked in the family vineyard, thought he could get an agricultural exemption, then he got drafted, had to register at the post office right down the road here. His draft card was pretty similar to the one that I had to carry many years later. But he was sent to South Carolina, I think the equivalent of Fort Jackson now. They got very little training. All their training was on the battlefield of France where he died. But the Lasco family donated all of his artifacts, and including what you saw in the museum. One of the volunteers was a distant relative of the Lascos put together the family history and wrote a very, very moving book. So you can see that's his gravestone in a cemetery in France. That's Private Lascaux.
Oh my. Isn't that something?
So he's buried in France.
Yeah, I mean, and these, I think these labels are replicas here. This shows you the winemaking equipment and everything is pretty well intact.
Wow, pretty much, it's a small area.
What is this? What did this device do?
But this was, again, the Lascaux property is maybe about 3 or 4 miles from here. It was disassembled. The city said you can reconstruct it here, so it fits the history of the area.
And what is this right here?
That's a good question.
Is that a loom?
I think it's used for processing grapes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see the rollers down there, sure. My goodness.
Instead of stomping them with your feet.
Like that, remember that I Love Lucy episode? Remember that?
Right.
You were there in that stuff.
Wow, this is amazing. What a treat. What a treat.
This gets the whole gene, the children of the Lascaux, the family timeline when they came over and they were born in Verona. In Verona, they came to Florida in 1884, purchased 150 acres of land along what's now Lascaux Road.
My goodness. That is really something.
1875, a retired Union officer, Major Webb, came here to have an agricultural and a shipping business. And again, I mentioned turpentine, oranges, other agricultural products, timber. Very, very lucrative. Okay, we're in 1875 now. Major Webb came down during the war. The original structure. And then the Jones family moved in. He was the postmaster, named after the park. This is sort of the postmaster from 1860 to 1864. The farmhouse was restored. Keep in mind where we are and what you're going to see. What Major Webb did, he had an ingenious way of, how do you get everything you're growing, you're harvesting, the timber you're cutting down, how do you get it to the river? He built a trestle system, a push car. We're going to see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, where you could push it over to the docks there. But that's, that's one thing that to remember as you're going through it.
What is this? What would this structure be here?
That's a little chicken coop or something like that. This is part of the farmstead.
Oh my.
I'm sure this is the original. We're going to take us a... Whoops.
Oh my gosh, look at this. So nice. Hello. Wow. Oh yeah. I bet that is. It was a chicken coop.
I bet the eggs were cheaper back then.
I bet they were too. My goodness.
This was added on over the years.
Look at these beautiful wood floors.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, and a
It
little.
was pretty well intact. The Jones family lived here until like the 1990s, so obviously they had to add electrical units here.
It's a bedroom.
And
Looks like a child's bedroom.
yeah, what I found really interesting is how small the people were back then. You and I would have a rough time.
Can we walk into that one? Is that a piano or an organ?
Yeah, it's an organ. So It's still operational. Somebody who came in here is not told, but feel free everything. Can take your pictures. This is an old Victrola. Take a look at my Wild Irish Rose.
Oh, look at that, Robin. Old Victrola.
Yeah.
There's another bedroom.
Wow. These all over for sale like that. Cheap low. Amazing.
This must be them, huh?
The family. This is really interesting. One of the Joneses was in the Navy. And this is a Thanksgiving mess from 1919.
Oh, wow.
And this is another. Take a look at that. I had a retired Navy.
Let's see what was on the menu.
Yeah. And he said, I had a retired Navy guy who came through here and he took a look at that and said, well, it sure hasn't changed over the years.
Turkey,
Wow.
roast, Rhode Island turkey, baked Smithfield ham.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of small, I can't read the rest of it, but I can read those.
Isn't that amazing? My goodness.
And we'll see his naval uniform.
Chocolate ice cream.
Chocolate ice cream.
Saltines. Nice.
They must have had a freezer.
Reading glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
This is wonderful.
His,
Such a treat.
this is the naval uniform. You can see it's Seaman Jones had.
He's a little guy.
You hear it?
Oh, yeah.
So that corresponds to the menu that you saw. These are added over the years. The
Oh, look at that.
old,
An old banjo, right?
A one-string banjo.
Nice.
I want to be careful showing you folks this. The Lindbergh flight was 1927. The boy's story of the Lindbergh's Lone Eagle.
Oh my god.
1928.
My god.
Wow, wow.
And you can just kind of will just gently thumb through this.
Yeah, that looks fragile.
Yeah, but it's the official greeting in France. But these are, whoops. This
My
is,
goodness.
Yeah.
and they had picture dictionaries. This is, let's see what. See all of the exercises.
Yeah.
Oh
The
my god.
frost on the window made a picture.
Nice.
The frost on the flowers killed them.
Oh, this is outstanding.
Look at that old chair.
My goodness. I like that touch for the window. You know, like the netting
The
for
net,
fishing or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
I think that's so cool looking. My goodness.
But this is, again, they expanded over the years, but they've left everything as historically accurate as they can.
Thank you so much for showing us all this.
No, we're not done yet.
We're not done.
This rug must be hand woven, huh? That's beautiful. Look at that.
I had somebody who was here who was new music, one of my tours, and they actually played that. Part of it works, it's the
Oh, really?
the pumps. Yeah, I'm afraid to fool around with it.
Sure.
It might break.
And then the old spinning wheel in here, the kids' rooms. Just,
Oh my gosh. Look at this. Oh, and look at the little shoes, the button-up shoes. Oh, isn't this something? And the old pram. My goodness. And the footstool to get up into the bed. What detail. This is beautiful. And a map, a game.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. This is a treasure.
Let's take a look.
This is a treasure.
On this. I see Alaska, but I don't see Hawaii, so I'm wondering, maybe they just showed Alaska as a territory, and it's the Lingen This is really interesting. Bayard is this old community in south of Duval County.
Oh, okay.
You see this, the wind game, Agnes Jones?
Oh, yeah, I sure do.
Yeah.
And look, it still says Gulf of Mexico.
Oh my gosh.
Have all the capitals.
I wonder what the pegs are for. Oh, maybe they're lit up.
Oh, new national game, Politique.
Maybe this had a battery that went with it
I
or
don't
something.
know.
That's a very old game.
I know what you have here. Some of her old journals.
It looks like it,
Oh,
yeah.
handwriting. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I love this. Okay.
This must be the grown-ups room.
Yeah.
The mom and dad.
I would guess that's from what, 20s, 30s.
Yeah, look at that hat, Robin.
Oh yeah, yeah, flapper era hat.
Yeah.
This is 1876 on that wooden hurdle.
Yeah. Which gets back to, when the house was built here.
Is this an original painting of the house?
I don't know.
What does it look like?
Let's see. No, this is just along the waterfront here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And an old chest. A lot of memories are here in this place. My goodness, that room.
Okay, one other thing.
What are you making? You were living here all those years.
They had indoor plumbing, and our best guess is it was somewhere in between here. All right, here's the kitchen. And most of the cooking was done in here because of the fire potential.
Oh,
They
right.
needed to separate the kitchen from the
Main house?
Yeah, because way back when, fire was a real issue here. And what's really fun, particularly with kids, you show them this, they have no idea what it is.
Oh yeah.
And my generation said, yeah, we played it in jug bands at festivals. But no, and they had no idea how they wash their clothes.
My goodness, this is outstanding. What a treat.
Yeah. Again, I'm not certain the dates of these utensils here, but they're...
Look at that small stove. Isn't that amazing? You see the tiny stove?
Yeah.
My goodness. Boy, everything was right within reach. They wouldn't have to go far.
Now you know what they mean when they say, is it bigger than a bread box?
That's funny, yeah.
Well, this board looks like it needs to be replaced right here.
Careful. We're going to go to the barn next, which is right.
This way?
Yeah, off to the left. Let me make sure I have the right key.
Get the...
That time.
What is this building here?
Oh, that's good point. That's old servants' quarters.
Oh.
I think it's safe. I don't think the city or the museum have any plans to restore this. It's safe to look into. You don't have to worry about creepy crawling things or it's dry. But the lived there.
My goodness, look how tiny that is in there.
That's again. Again, Mr. Webb had servants to help, and
tiny.
I don't know if I can see it with the camera. Yeah,
Tiny rooms.
yeah, very tiny.
My goodness.
So I don't know if this is a good question, but were the servants slaves?
no, this was again
They were
1875.
paid?
They were-
Okay.
yeah, they were- no, again, everything here is after the Civil War. They may have been slaves. I'm sure they were slaves at one time, but. And this area was primarily black.
Oh gosh.
Jones Farm Chicken House. Yeah. Now that's a tall door. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this wagon in there.
Oh my goodness.
Feel free to crawl inside or hop inside.
Oh, I don't know.
Holy cow.
That buggy was primarily used for doctors' house calls.
Really?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's, so again,
Sure.
some photos of them, working for turpentine and
Yeah, the big pot. The iron pot.
back here. Yeah,
Wow, that big ladder.
It probably isn't that much different now than it was back then.
no, they've done a good job.
Oh, and they got a swinging sickle, Robin, see? That's what my grandfather told me about.
Oh yeah.
The swinging sickle.
Huge.
That's not what they call it now, but
My goodness.
They restored the barn, but it's everything old. Everything is pretty well.
it looks like it's the original
Yeah. And
farm.
particularly that buggy, I think is.
That's
And
1876 it says on the top on the eave.
oh, okay.
It's right in there. 1876.
Oh, yeah.
okay, we're gonna go down the river next.
Wow. This is amazing.
That's an old sawmill that was, best we can tell, was in operation until like the 1960s. It was off of Julian and Creek Road.
Oh, Mike, you were doing a great job.
Well, I appreciate it. This is fun. I've been retired 11 years, and
What did you retire from?
I was have a journalism background, and then I was worked for the State Department of Transportation for 20-some years
Is
as
that right?
information officer. But my wife died about 3.5 years ago, and I needed something to kind of
Yeah.
get back in circulation. So this has been kind of really very therapeutic for me. And I majored in history in school, so
Oh, this is up your alley.
yeah.
There's the St. John's River.
You know the great trivia question about the St. John's, don't you? It's one of the two longest northern flowing rivers in the world, and you know what the other one is?
The Nile.
Hey, very good.
He's got an engine going.
He's curious.
Gotta watch those squirrels, make sure they don't get away.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that outstanding? My goodness.
You remember the maple?
Yeah.
The site was somewhere out there to the right of that private dock.
That's where it sunk?
That's where it sunk. And then the Confederates had a whole series of floating landmines across the river, and 2 other ships were sunk that day. The other 2 were recovered, but the Maple Leaf is still down there somewhere.
Is that right?
Yeah, you saw.
My goodness.
What is that bridge called?
That's a Buckman Bridge, and that changed Mandarin. It was built in like 1969, 70. Before, you didn't have a river crossing this far south. Right off, I'll get a better view of that. You see the water tower there?
Yeah.
Right off to the right is the Naval Air Station. We'll see.
Okay.
We get a better view of it when we walk down to the border.
I see the skyline of
Yeah, it's a
Jacksonville.
perfect day to see the skyline.
See the skyline above him?
Wow. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? My goodness. This is beautiful. Outstanding. Look at those trees.
Yeah.
Reaching for
It's
the
amazing
sky.
how cypress trees can withstand time.
So we learned that when Harriet Beecher Stowe lived on the river, she was like the most famous person in the country at that time. And sometimes people would come by on their boats just looking to see if they could catch a glimpse of her.
Yeah.
And she would wave at them.
Again, she was like 20, 30 years before Major Webb.
This is breathtaking. Really
No, it's a perfect place to come and sit, to read, think. You know, okay, remember that photograph, that print I showed in the museum?
Yeah.
Okay, that's in recent years the county dock that the city installed.
How lovely is this? The trees that have fallen and are cut down, are they all left there, or do you, or when the trees are fallen down like these, or when they're
Well-
cut, are they left there?
They had to cut down several trees because they were intruding on the boardwalk here. You know, would have caused damage.
Uh-huh.
I think they just kind of, you know, like this one, for example, I don't know if they were going to clear it or not, but it was hanging over too close. It would have, oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, look at him up there.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's a great picture.
That is, that's wonderful.
There's Jacksonville. Right there. Something in there. Oh, look at that picture.
Right, occasionally this is where manatees can be seen.
Oh, really?
You know, not this time of year, but when they're great. I'm almost certain I saw a bald eagle around here because it's
I wouldn't be surprised.
with the fish in the river. this is what I mentioned about Webb's Wharf with the railroad track and the cart system extending out.
Oh,
He pushed them on the handheld trolley, was able to get them. Best I can tell from looking at that pen and ink drawing in the museum, the wharf extended and all the shipping sheds were right where that dock house is. So
Oh, okay,
the,
okay.
Give or take, the original Webb's Wharf dock wasn't as long as this.
He's one of those frogs.
oh yeah. They're everywhere.
I saw, this was interesting, a woman was down here, she was collecting pieces of old driftwood to use for frames. You know, I wonder what she was doing. She was really meticulous.
About picking.
You know, picking up, and I got curious, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, I use them to make picture frames.
Wow. I bet they look great too.
Yeah, which is... Now I think it's safe. I mean, I think it's too wide for alligators, and fortunately, I've never seen any snakes down there.
And are you here all of the days the museum is open?
No, I'm here every Friday afternoon, and then the first Saturday of the month when everything is open for free. I work the schoolhouse, which I really find incredibly fascinating.
Oh my.
I've always thought, and I don't know much about Hollywood screenplays, but the story of the nuns is an Oprah story ready to be written. You can go up this way.
Okay.
Unless you want to go back.
Sure. Oh, this is fine. Well, no, that's a great
I really
idea you
believe
have.
that. You obviously have to Hollywoodize it a little bit, but with the nuns standing up to the Klan and just trying to teach the kids, and it's this eager little kid who wants to learn.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it's a great story. I don't know.
And that's a great statue of Harriet Beecher Stowe was teaching the kids. And she was, the person to make sure that slavery was abolished, I feel, by bringing it to the forefront to everybody.
Yeah, I know, and pardon me for repeating myself, but the detail on that statue, oh my God.
No, that artist is amazing.
She nailed it. She absolutely.
And everything is so fresh smelling here. It's very pristine.
Yeah, we've been lucky for storms in this part of the river. Further closer to the downtown, it's more prone to flooding. But here, heavy storms, it'll get, with the soil saturated, it'll get wet, and the sidewalks will be covered with water. But the boardwalk is pretty much intact, knock on wood.
Well, you guys do a great job taking care of the property. A lot of property to take care of, and you guys, it's very pristine, very well taken care of.
First Sunday of the month, they have music under the oaks.
Oh.
Where a bunch of folk singers will get around, and some of them know what they're doing, some of them don't. And they play everything from old Woody Guthrie to Hootie and the Blowfish, and you bring your picnic chair, and from 2 to 4, and anywhere from 15 to 25 musicians, and they'll pass a microphone around.
Oh my.
And they do it. They don't do it during the summer because of the weather.
Yeah, it gets kind of hot.
Yeah,
it is kind of hot and muggy. I know, the rains, that will wash out a lot of things. But this is really nice. It's all open to the public, and they can come anytime, and it's beautiful.
And the park's open after dark. There's a caretaker who supposedly watches it, but it doesn't. I mean, the museum theoretically closes at 4, but this park is open at night. I think it's, I've never been here at night, but I think it'd be, if you're in a group, it's safe to walk them. There's the mile.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But I love pointing this out, Robin.
Oh.
This is what you really want to get a photo of. Mm-hmm. We are right through here.
Okay.
So you can, this is again the shipping areas, the steamships that came.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That is outstanding.
It really puts it
And
in
that's,
perspective from what we saw.
it does. It does.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I'm glad, it's still open. So, you don't really, it's better to look at this print after we've been down there so you can kind of grasp it a bit.
Sure. That's called the Mandarin dock.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's,
That is beautiful. That is an outstanding print. Outstanding.
maybe a closer look at how many stars were on the flag way back then.
Oh.
Maybe
Yeah.
it was 1870 when when they added the states.
Well, this has been a wonderful experience,
My
Mike.
pleasure,
Thank you
Robin.
so much. What was your last name again?
Goldman. This is
Goldman.
director of
Hi, Brittany.
here
How are
with a
you?
children's book about Harriet Beecher Stowe.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, my partner Larry is by the water. He illustrated it.
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice.
but
Did
this
you enjoy
was
your
a
tour?
wonderful tour. Mike is outstanding. So we really appreciate it.
Good, good.
Thank
Good
you
to see you. Yeah,
so much.
like
Nice
I
to
said,
meet
come
you.
on up and, the first Saturday of the month, these maple leaf divers are here, and these guys are just absolutely fascinating to talk to.
Oh my gosh.
Their experiences down there, and they'll tell you that they've only recovered maybe 1 or 2% of the items, and everything is still there where we saw it, and covered with silt.
Sure. But this is outstanding. Thank you.
Well, thanks for
So
coming
much.
today.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike, so much.
Take care.
You too. The Walter Jones Historical Park, Jacksonville, Florida, home to Mandarin Museum and Schoolhouse. This is outstanding. What a wonderful tour. Imagine it's the late 1800s in Mandarin. The river is the main mode of transportation. Citrus, vegetables, strawberries, and lumber are loaded from the wharf up ahead on the St. John's onto riverboats headed to markets in Jacksonville and beyond. This is a restored farmstead, and it is typical of the rural community of the time. Experience the essence of old Mandarin.
Oh, that was a lot of information.
Oh yeah, Mike is a wonderful tour guide and Linda's charming, and wow, what a wonderful opportunity to be here where Harriet Beecher Stowe
So
lived.
just imagine at the river, the St. John's River, when she had a cottage on that river, she would stand there and wave to the people who were on the boats, and they were looking for her because she was so famous. It would be like driving past John Travolta's house and seeing him on the front lawn waving to people.
Oh yeah, and in
So-
fact, some of the people that were waving, if they couldn't see her at first, they would moor their boats on the bank, and then they would get out and actually walk around the property.
The nerve of those people.
I know.
All right, hope you enjoyed that, and be on the lookout for the book. It's called The Day Harriet Beecher Stowe Visited
Silver Springs.
Take care, be good.
Don't forget to write. Remember, writing is very important.
See,
And
Robin wrote a book. See, that's
and
it's very
Leary
important.
illustrated it. And the world
Spin's fine,
on her own.
especially when you realize that you need to change the hearts of men and get them to start treating other men and women with respect.
And Harriet Beecher Stowe did just that.
That's what she did.
God bless.
All right, that's the legacy.